Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is having a great global hack week this week. I will be your host, Ryan, and some of y'all might recognize me from about 2 hours ago, where we did the GitHub Copilot workshop. So, if you are new to Global Hack Week, if it's your second, your third, your fourth, your fifth, your 10th, feel free to drop down in the comments and just let me know how it's been. Do you have a favorite Global Hack Week? Do you like this Global Hack Week? What is it like? Let me know. So, without further ado, let's go over some housekeeping here. So, for those that are familiar with Global Hack Week, sign in with that link down below. It helps track your attendance so you can get swag shipped to you right after the event. Also helps with getting the slides right after. So if you want to learn a little bit after the stream, then you'll get the slides if you sign into the link below. I see Sharia saying hello. Hello, how's it going? Hope everyone is doing great. And I'll keep the link here in chat for a few more minutes. And there's also the QR code on the right-hand side if you want to sign in. But without further ado, let's go ahead and begin. So, if it lets me go to the next slide. Okay, there we go. So for those that don't know me already, like I said earlier, or didn't see me 2 hours ago, I'm Ryan Lalu. I'm a coach at Major League Hacking. I'm a Figma enjoyer, and I'm also a D1 yapper. So before we get started, just to briefly cover what we're going to be going over this workshop, we're going to be covering how to get access to Figma. Can't see it a little bit with the pop-up here, but we're going to get access to Figma Dev Mode. We're going to cover the Figma fundamentals. We're going to learn and work with Dev Mode, build a quick project, and then bring that project to life. Also, I see a hi from Peculiar Frost. Nice to see you again. I think you were here 2 hours ago. But yeah, let's go ahead and continue here. So, for those that are not familiar, you might be asking yourself, what is Figma? Well, their overall slogan is making design accessible for all, and they do that through 4 of their products. And actually this summer, a few months ago, I think 2, they released a few more products. So we'll only be covering the 4 that they had a few months ago. So the first one is Figma Design. It's an online multiplayer canvas. It's free, popular, and industry-leading tool. It's used by designers worldwide, and it's the most popular design collaboration platform on the internet. So if you want to design websites, mobile apps, and other products, this is the tool to use. FigJam is your digital whiteboard, canvas, and notepad. FigJam is one of the best tools for ideating, brainstorming, and planning things in collaborative environments. Think about hackathons, class meetings, ideation with other people, etc. It's literally an extension of a physical whiteboard on the cloud. Next is going to be Figma Slides. Figma Slides is like Google Slides or Microsoft PowerPoint, but with design features. Figma Slides help you present your intent through design. You can embed widgets to gather feedback during presentations, and you can embed prototypes, which are really helpful if you want to have like a portfolio or class presentation with it. And lastly, one of their cooler products is Figma Dev Mode, which is not your normal developer copilot. As you design, you can switch over to Dev Mode and use code gens to get useful information such as HTML or CSS. If you're building a mobile app, you can also switch between iOS and Android code gens. And if you're building with other frameworks, you can install third-party extensions to generate code. Let's say, for example, Tailwind, React, Angular, etc. And Dev Mode has so many other features too, such as annotations, measurements, component version history, and VS Code extensions. So TLDR, there are a lot of cool things packed into these Figma products. I see another hi in chat. Hello. And for the purposes of this workshop, we're going to be covering Figma Design and Dev Mode. Also, quick aside here, if I'm talking too fast, please let me know. I tend to talk at 1,000 miles an hour, so please catch me if I'm talking too fast. All right, so why should you learn Figma? Well, quite simply put, Figma is the industry standard and go-to design collaborative tool for the majority of Fortune 500s and startups. Nowadays, it's hard to find a company that doesn't use Figma somewhere in their design process. And one of the biggest perks of learning Figma is leveraging their design system and design kits, which include these 3. So Figma has an entire community of design libraries and kits that you can use. you can choose between iPad and iOS and iPad OS 18, Material 3 design, and Figma's simple design system. So the theme here overall is save time. Figma's preloaded design kits and design systems ensure that you're not starting from scratch and you have somewhere to start from. So to briefly go everything, again, we have iOS and iPadOS, we have Material 3 Design and Figma's SDS. These get updated constantly, so let's say for iOS and iPadOS, they get an update from iOS 18 to 19, if y'all know what happened there. 18 to I think now it's 26, because Apple is going by years. They're going to be releasing the liquid glass design system pretty soon on Figma. Let me see if it's actually released yet. Figma liquid glass. Let's see. I see there's a few people who are trying to create similar tools, but whenever Apple comes out with a full release, you should expect a Figma design kit for it. So, saying all of that, you might ask yourself, why should you use Figma over using a tool like V0? And for those who don't know, V0 is Vercel's AI UI builder, which you can build UI from prompts, or ChatGPT, where you can use make code from prompts. And the quick, easy put answer is it's all about design. By designing with Figma, you have a lot more opportunity to design and think towards the user. So instead of trying to defer your thinking and your design to AI, you get to design with intent using Figma. So most online products are designed by teams that use Figma, and during the beginning, during the process of bringing designs to the device, designers will normally hand off their designs to developers who convert them to code. So TLDR, getting design experience with Figma will make you a more marketable engineer. So before we begin with our project, let's learn how to get access to dev mode, and also let's learn where we can use it. So you can use Figma pretty much anywhere. It's on your desktop, it's on your mobile device, it's on your web browser, it's also a VS Code extension, it's literally everywhere. And for those who want like the tea of how does it work, how do they make it use it on so many different platforms, the quick answer is Figma is natively an Electron application that uses WebGL. So that's how they're able to get it everywhere, as a fun fact. I see Mohammed asking, can we use Figma in object-oriented design? Yes, you can, absolutely. There's so many ways that you can use it. I'm pretty sure there's something similar to inheritance with their variables, and they kind of have like cookie cutter holes where you can put new components into them. It's a really cool system that gets really advanced really fast, and I'll have a link for you to head over to find some resources in a few slides here. So, saying all of that, let's get access to dev mode real quickly. So, Figma is free for students. To get access to dev mode, you have to have a education plan or a professional plan. So again, if you want to get access for free as a student, you can apply using mlh.link/Figma. So I'm going to give everybody here about 5 minutes to sign in. If you have any problems, let me know in chat and I can help debug it with you live. So 5 minutes, sign up with that link over there on the right-hand side, and hopefully everyone here can get access to a developer license or a professional license. Glad to hear that you've done this before. Great to hear that you did it from yesterday's session. Good to hear. I see a few people here already done. And I see a question, how can we master using Figma in terms of learning? Yeah, so the best way to learn is by doing. So the more that you interact with Figma, make designs with Figma, you'll learn a lot very fast. There's also a resource you can use. It's going to be over here. I'll skip to the slide real quick. mlh.link/Figma resources will send you over to their Learn documentation. All right, seems like the majority of y'all have already finished, so let's go ahead and continue. I'm cutting a little bit short here, but if you need some time, let me know, and I can take it a little slow. All right, let's continue. So let's briefly go over the basics of Figma design. Remember, you don't need to be a designer to use Figma. Learning these skills are essential for developers as well. So kind of briefly going over here, Figma has 4 distinct regions: the canvas, the toolbar, and the left and right sidebars. Another big thing to learn that a lot of people struggle with at the beginning is how do you interact with the canvas, which is, by the way, the most important part here, right? So it depends on where or what you're using. If you're using a mouse or a trackpad, it will slightly differ. For me, I'm on a trackpad, so to pan around the canvas, I can slide using 2 fingers. And if I want to zoom in and out, I can pinch in and out with 2 fingers. And the controls are slightly different if you're on keyboard and mouse. So saying all of that, I'll let you all test it out for a tiny bit. Let me actually see if I can go to my canvas here. Oh, I don't know if I can hop over my canvas, but in a tiny bit, we'll go over how to use it. So yeah, let's go ahead and continue. So the toolbar is the second most important part of Figma's UI here. The toolbar is the hub for interacting with the canvas. The 4 main tools that we'll be using here is the move tool, which is you can select it by typing the V key. The frame tool, which you can interact with by using the F key. The shape tool by clicking the R key, and the text tool by clicking the T key. And for those that want to know, this right here is move, this is frame, this is the shape tool, and this is the text tool over here. So, going into kind of the more complicated parts of the UI here, we also have the left-hand sidebar. So the main parts to note here is that the left sidebar gives you access to layers, pages, and assets. The asset panel is right here. This is where you can view local components or find components from the kits or design kits or libraries that you import. For the purpose of this workshop, we're not going to be using that. We also have the main menu widgets here. These are how you can access functions, actions, and settings. You also have your pages. Think of these as different sheets in a Google Sheet or in a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet. Or think of it like having multiple documents, each with their own layers, which covers layers, which are, think of it as a way to arrange objects in relation to each other. Kind of complicated when hearing it all out loud, but don't worry, when we go into the demo, we'll cover what that is. And lastly, we have the right-hand sidebar. This is arguably the most complex part of Figma's UI because it is very feature dense and verbose. So saying that, there are 2 main tabs here. You have design and you have prototype. Design is where you can view and edit the design properties of layers, while prototype is where you can view and edit the interactions, flows, and settings. So let's say you want to make it to where when I click a sign in button, it takes me to a new page. That's how you can basically program it using Figma. After that, you have a bunch of different settings here to edit whatever you select. And saying that, when you select an element, you will get something that looks like this. When you have nothing selected, you can explore properties. When you have nothing selected, you can view local resources like colors and textiles. So again, really, really complicated. Sounds kind of hard when I'm rushing straight into it, but don't worry, we'll cover it all together. So I see a question. If I integrated Figma in VS Code, do I need the browser version or can I design in VS Code too? So I am pretty sure you can also design inside of VS Code, which is kind of funny. But I would say both. What I would see in my developer workflow is I would design using the Figma app, which could be in the browser. And when I'm trying to convert it into code, I will go into VS Code, use the extension, and convert the designs to code with their code gems. So yeah, a little bit more of a nuanced answer. I hope that answers your question. And there's honestly so much more than what I've covered here. If you want to learn more, you can visit this link, mlh.link/Figma resources. Their documentation is great. It's really helpful if you want to learn a lot. So let's jump straight into our UI card project. So for this, I am going to be working in this canvas. Here you can see a little bit of our other global hack weeks where we've done the same workshop. Let's make a brand new one for our project today. So I see another question. If I integrate it with GitHub Copilot, won't it make it more easier? So the answer is both. You can actually use both to generate write and design your website. So what I would recommend is I would design the site inside of Figma. And once I've designed the site, I would convert it to basically like a scaffolded version of code. And then from there, I would use GitHub Copilot to add more advanced features or make tweaks. So I would use both in my developer workflow. So let's go ahead and continue here. So for our UI card project, we are going to begin here using a text element. So I'm going to click T on the canvas, and I'm going to type something. So first, we need to think of a theme for this project. What can we do? Let's talk about something that's pretty topical nowadays. There's also, so MLH recently has been doing something called the MLH AI Roadshow, where MLH will basically go to a bunch of these big internship cities and host these fun mixers for you to meet and learn about these AI tools and meet people in the scene. So let's go ahead and talk about my experience at the MLH AI Roadshow. And I'll title case this properly. So now that we have this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this right-hand panel here. I'm going to change the font weight to bold. I'm going to change the font size from 12 to 24 here. And I can select whatever font I want. I love using Roboto, so I'm going to select the Roboto font. All right. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to add a rectangle. This rectangle is going to be a placeholder temporarily to represent an image. So now that I have this rectangle created just by clicking the R key and dragging and dropping, or I guess dragging and clicking, we are going to change the image in it. So so what we're going to do is we're going to click on this icon here, the color. We're going to click on this image icon. It's the fourth from the left. Then we are going to, I'm actually, instead of uploading a picture of my own, I am going to use a new Figma AI feature, which essentially will create an image from scratch. So let's talk about the most recent the most recent MLH AI Roadshow. So we're gonna do a lively scene at Major League Hacking's AI Roadshow in San Francisco. There are a bunch of people talking to each other and learning about new AI products. So I'm going to use GPT. Let's use Google Imagen 3. So we're going to use Google Imagen 3, and we're going to have Figma make it for us. So I'm going to submit that. It's going to take about 30 seconds here. So we're going to wait, and hopefully it should work. If you have any questions, drop them in chat, and I can answer them while it generates. Oh, awesome, it has it. So you can see here there's a bunch of people mixing together at this MLH AI showed demo. Wow, Figma's Google's Imagen is getting really good. So yeah, so we have our image now. Let's go ahead and move on to adding some text or a description. So I am going to add some text here. I'm just going to quickly drag and drop. And inside of this, I'm going to talk a little bit about the MLH AI Roadshow. I had a blast at the MLH AI Roadshow in San Francisco. It was great to meet many industry professionals and learn about their experiences and product offerings. Yeah, so also for those that do not know and are curious a little bit about the MLH AI Roadshow, basically it is a roadshow that is taking place in a bunch of internship cities again. We had the New York City Roadshow, I think a few weeks ago. The San Francisco one was on August 1st, so about, I think like 9 days ago. And we have a few more coming up, being Texas, London, Bangalore, and I think a few more left to come. So a lot of cool stops that are happening pretty soon. So I see a question, what did we use for the square? So if you click the R key on your keyboard, you can drag and drop a rectangle. When under fill on the right hand side, if you click on that image or that square here, you can go click on this image icon, it's the fourth from the left, and you can upload an image or make an image with AI. So that's what we use the rectangle for. So I'm going to delete this rectangle since we don't need it yet. And we're going to edit a few of the styles for this description. So I'm going to reduce the font weight from bold back to regular. I'm going to reduce the the font size from 24 to 16. And I'm going to click this button here. This is super important, called auto height. The idea here is it's going to automatically set the height to be whatever it's going to set the height to I can't speak here. It's going to set the height to its content. So depending on how much content we have, it's going to grow based on that. While also setting these bounds on the left and right hand side to be the size of what we have in our image and in our header. So now that we have that, what we're going to do is we are going to combine these all together in what we call a frame. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to select everything and I'm going to hit Option Control G. If you're on Windows, you can use Control Alt G. So that will essentially create a frame here. And what we can do then is we can then auto layout it. So before I explain what auto layout is, let's quickly apply it. What you can do is you can hit Shift A and it should apply an auto layout. So again, to cover the keys, let's go to this over here. You can see we're creating a frame using Option Command G or Control Alt G on Windows. And then we're using auto layout with Shift A. I'll see if there's any questions in chat. For Hack Week, is it normal to complete the Figma challenge only of a project? I'd say both yes and no. A lot of people who are newer might have a little bit of struggles, so it's a little bit hard. But I say that if you just follow this workshop or sign up using the sign up link and use the slides, it should be pretty simple to get a Figma project up and running. So I'm going to shout out again, check in at that link if you want to get the slides and some swag. Okay, let's go ahead and continue back where we left off here. So yeah, now that we have our card, let's explain a little bit about what auto layout is. So I have this diagram that I made a few global hack weeks ago, and this explains auto layout in a Amazon analogy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a brand new one here, and let's just draw here. Let's freeform. So what I'm going to create here is I'm going to create this Amazon box, right? I'm going to name it Amazon box. So in our Amazon box, when we order on Amazon, we might have a few things, right? Let's say we ordered a, what's a good example? Let's say we ordered a Minecraft grass block, right? We ordered a Minecraft grass block. Let's say we also ordered a rubber ducky here. Let me just color it yellow. We ordered a rubber ducky. Let's say we ordered a new shirt here. So I'm just going to draw another rectangle for it. Let's say we ordered a new shirt. And let's say that we got a handy dandy MLH sticker. Just for fun, I'm going to type in MLH in here and make it look like a sticker. Let's give me a second for this tiny bit. Yeah, so we have this fancy handy dandy MLH sticker that we got, right? And I'm gonna make this background a little bit gray so it's easy to see. Oh, maybe white will be helpful. Yeah, now we have this MLH sticker, right? So in this Amazon box, I'm actually gonna real quickly convert this to a frame. So in this Amazon box analogy, we have a bunch of these different items, right? Now, if I wanted to somehow tell you how I want to sort them, it's going to be a little bit hard, right? How do we choose between these different objects with each other and with the box? Well, the solution that we have Figma. So what we can do is if we select this frame and we hit Shift A, it will convert it to an auto layout, right? And what we can do here now is in this Amazon box model, with this frame here, I'm going to change the color just a little bit. We can describe the relationship to each other, right? So what we can do here is we can click this column button, and it's going to sort everything in a column format, vertical format. We can also do a row format where everything is vertical. And we can also do just assorted, there's freeform, or we can do grid. Grid is like CSS grid. It's a little more complicated. So for the purpose of this workshop, I'm going to be covering only vertical and horizontal flex directions. So saying all of that, we can describe the general flow going either left to right or up to down. We can also describe where in this box it's related to. So let's say we're doing this row. We can say we want everything centered to the top left of this box. That's where we click this align top left button on the right hand side. If we want it to be aligned to the top center, to the center, bottom right, middle left, bottom left, etc., we can describe the relation with these objects together with the box. We can also double click on it, on this alignment box, to get it split between. So now it's splitting everything in between, having equal spacings in between each of these. Again, this can also work with vertical rows, whether it be in the center, on the left, on the right. We can describe the relationship between everything using this alignment feature. Another cool thing is that if you're using rows, you can actually use this new row feature. It's called wrap, where let's say the box is not big enough here, it's going to put the next item on the next line. And the last three things to cover here is we also have vertical gap between rows. So let's say I want 20 pixels of gap here. I can define 20 pixels here, and we'll have 20 pixels of gap. I can also describe the left, right, and the top bottom padding. So if I want the horizontal padding to be, let's say, 50 pixels, and I want the vertical padding to be 50 pixels, I can do that. And now we have this margin here where elements or what's in the box will not be able to touch it. So TLDR, it's a pretty cool way to describe the relation of items with each other and items within the container that's encompassing it. So if you have any questions, let me know. I know it's kind of complicated, but it should make sense in a tiny bit. So to lastly wrap up this UI card that we've created, now that we've explained a little bit of how auto layout works, what we're going to do here is we're going to create a card. We're going to make it look like a card now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this alignment to be aligned to the left. I'm going to make it vertical. I'm going to set the gap or the padding in between different elements to be 6. I'm going to make the horizontal padding 24 and the vertical padding 24 here. And let's say I want this width to be static at 360 pixels. And this height is going to be hugging. So you should see right here it says hug. So with all of that, now we have the layout for the card. Let's make it look like a card. So under appearance here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 16 pixels to a border radius, which you will see once I change the background color. So if I make this background color white here, or let's make it red so y'all can see. You can see we now have a 16 pixel border radius, so the cards don't look like they're pointy. And let's set the background color back to white. Now that we have that, let's add one more thing. I'm going to click on stroke, and I'm going to add a 2 pixel stroke to this card. And just like that, we now have our first UI card. So going back here, we have our first UI card. Let's move on to creating a container that will contain all of these cards. So going back here, checking a quick question from chat from Peculiar Frost, still facing a bit of an issue with AI image generation. Sorry, but I didn't understand where exactly to click. Yeah, so I'm not sure everyone has access to the AI image gen feature. I'm not entirely sure how I got access to the feature, but I'm pretty sure it's not included on the Figma free plans. I think it's only on a paid pro plan. But what I would do is I would just create a rectangle, click on the square rectangle under fill. It should be a color normally. I would click on this image icon, and I have a make an image icon, button beneath my upload from computer button. Again, I'm not entirely sure everyone has access to this feature. I think it might just be me. So your mileage may vary. All right, let's go back into the UI card project. Let me know if that makes sense. Oh, awesome. Yeah, no problem. If anything, just upload an image from your computer, and hopefully that should also work. So going back into the project here, now that we have our first UI card, let's apply the principles that we've learned from Flexbox again, and create this container that will resemble our computer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the F key, which will open up the frame. I'm going to go into the desktop frame presets here, and I'm going to click on MacBook Pro 14-inch. This will mimic technically a viewport for a MacBook, right? So now that we have this, what we're going to do is we are going to hit Shift A. So what we're going to do here is we are going to drag and drop our card into this frame, and we are going to select it, hit Control C and Control V to paste it a few more times, and we're going to paste a lot of them. Oh, yeah, we're going to paste a lot of them here. So you can see there's a quick problem. All of our cards are going infinitely to the right here, and as you can see, they're not located inside of our frame. So let us fix that. So I'm going to keep the settings here just to make sure everyone's here. I'm going to keep it aligned to the top left. I'm going to click this wrap button. And when I click the wrap button, everything should do these new lines. With that, saying all of that, I'm going to also set the between each of these cards. So as you can see, because there's not enough, I'm going too fast here. Because there is not enough space for a new card in this gap here, it's going to go to the new line. Figma's going to drop the card into a new line, and it's going to start there. So now you can see all these cards are going off of the page, and it functions. So just like that, that is pretty much the entire project. That is all of our UI cards done. Let's work on getting it converted to code with dev mode. So what we're going to do here is we're going to click on this button on the top right of the frame. It's really tiny, but it should look like a less than symbol, a slash, and then a greater than symbol. I'm going to click on that, and what that's going to do is it's going to mark this frame as ready for development, or what Figma calls RFD. So what we can do is we can toggle dev mode by clicking on this dev mode icon on my toolbar. And from there, we get a lot of information already on the screen. The easiest to cover here is going to be the current selected frame that is ready for development. So we can see it selects the root layer, or the topmost frame, which is going to be what our preset named MacBook Pro 14-inch. And we can select any of these elements that are inside of it, going all the way down to the primitive text or the images that we have. And with all of that, we can see all of the styles and information on the right-hand side of our screen. So going back to the root element here, we can see that we have a box model layer properties image or view here. We can also view everything in a code agnostic form where it just has the description of what's here, as well as our colors, selection colors, and our assets. And we can also view it as code here. So when viewing it as code, what we can do is we can select this code gen button. It's kind of tiny here, but for me it says HTML. In general, if you remember from earlier in the presentation, there's a lot of different presets you can use in terms of code gens. You can use CSS, you can convert it to iOS Swift UI or UIKit, Android Compose or XML, and you can also use the vast marketplace of code gen plugins that Figma has. So you can see, you can also view all the plugins here if you click the plugins button. And as you can see, there's a lot from the community. There's a lot from the community. So what we can do here is an example of this public codegen conversion plugin is this Figma to code codegen, and it has HTML, Tailwind JSX options, Flutter, and Swift UI. So what we're going to use is we're going to use HTML just because it's the easiest to copy and paste and get working immediately. So if possible, a little zoom would be good. Yeah, no problem. Sorry about that. I don't know exactly how to zoom in with the Figma UI. It's a little janky in that respect. But yeah, so we have this component selected and we have our code generated code. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this copy button. I'm going to copy the code, and then I'm going to follow these steps I'm going to put on screen. What I'm going to do is, I see a question in chat. I'll get to that. I will get to that real quick. Sorry, I'm stumbling over my words. How do you duplicate a frame? So what you can do is you can click on the frame and you can hit Control-C to copy and Control-V to paste. If you're also fancy, you can click the Alt key on Windows or the Option on Mac. Hold that down, click and drag, then release. So if I go back from dev mode to normal, I can hold Alt here. I can drag and release my, my mouse button while holding Alt, and it will duplicate this frame. So let's go back to dev mode here. Let's click on the frame that's ready for development. Let's copy this code, and I'm going to follow these 4 steps. What I'm going to do off screen here is I am going to basically create this new .html file. I am going to in an IDE, open it up. I'm going to paste the code we just generated, and then I'm going to open that in a browser. So what I can do here is I should be able to, give me one moment. I need to find my file on my computer. Then I can go to, I should be able to plop that in right here. So just like that, again, just to cover what we talked about, I created a new .html file. I opened it in the text editor. I pasted my code from the code gen, and then I opened it up in a browser. So all of that, you can see it right here working. We have all of our cards. Now, unfortunately, Figma will use placeholders. However, it's really simple to insert your images that you've created or that you have defined into these placeholders. And by the way, that's a limitation not of Figma, but of this code gen. So saying all of that, we have successfully, in about 20 minutes or less, made a UI card gallery and converted it to code that works on my browser fast. That was really fast, really simple. And basically, that's it. Voila! It's really simple and really easy to create these UI, to create any project and convert to code using Figma. And honestly, I recommend everyone try it out if they get the chance to. But besides that, that is it. Some quick designing in dev mode has enabled us to bring our designs to life. And if anyone has any questions, please refer to the Figma Learn and Figma Resource Center, as they are fantastic resources. Besides that, please let me know how I did. Honestly, I would really, really appreciate if all of y'all had the chance to complete the survey real quick at mlh.link/Figma survey and let me know how I did. Or how was the workshop? Did you enjoy it? Would you recommend anything? What did you enjoy? How can we improve? Etc. Any feedback would be greatly appreciated. But besides that, that is all I have for y'all today. We have a lot more coming up here in Global Hack Week Beginners Week. If you want to catch Cecilia right after this in about 19 minutes in the MLH Discord, you can join her in some Gartic Phone fun. Honestly, it's a great time to draw if you like drawing, and it's a great way to play Telephone if you like that game. Besides that, thank you for joining me. Great to hear that you enjoyed it. Besides that, have a great Global Hack Week. Enjoy your time, and happy hacking. Take care, y'all.